Hi guys, and welcome now to the graph section here for this Planar Armageddon, and I'll start things off straight away with the graph for the HZSound Luna. As you can see, not an offensive graph in any way. Taking here the 100 Hz point as well, you can see that the corresponding upper mids area is above 2K, which is what I usually like. There's a peak at 3 and then a slow roll off, nice extension past 10K. And as I stated, it is exactly the same as the TinHIFi Dudu, which I've just placed up now. It's exactly the same shell, the same driver, the same tuning. So you got one, you got the other. The only thing, like I mentioned, maybe because of the different materials being used in one and the other, there is a feeling that there's a slight difference in timbre and tonality between one and the other. Which is the best or which is the worst? Difficult to tell, because it will be very much dependent on your ears and how the IEM fits and how you like it. But I mean, look, it's not an offensive graph in any way. Just for the sake of comparison, because this is using the smaller planar driver, I've got here the graph now of the PRX from KZ, and overall I just like the sound of the PRX a little bit better. The sound of the PRX is not only tonally more correct, in my opinion, but I like the way that this point of 100 Hz matches better the corresponding upper mids and treble. And overall the sound that you get is a very agreeable sound, okay? The other one that also is using a smaller planar driver is the SGOR Venus. I'm just going to change the color here to red so you can understand better. Okay, this is the SGOR Venus. Again, very similar in the overall vibe, same sort of bass, everything. The difference here is how this area here is handled, and it actually sounds way warmer than what you would than what the graph would probably indicate. Actually, the SGOR Venus, as I mentioned, SGOR Venus. My apologies, I'm saying Venus. It's a Luna as well. This thing of brands copying each other's names is extremely confusing. So this is the SGOR Luna, the planar, compared with the PRX, and they have a very similar sound, like, by the way, I also mentioned when I did the review. Okay, and now in black is the HZSound Luna as well. All three graph in a very similar manner. However, there is perceptible differences in the sound, noticeable. Okay, and the final one of these smaller planar size drivers is the S08, which I've just placed, and I'm just going to remove the other two and let's just leave the S08 with the Luna from HZSound. And as you can see, bass wise it's basically the same, but it's in the way that the mids, upper mids and treble are handled in the S08, which give it that more DD like, that very relaxed, very smooth, very unoffensive planar presentation. You ultimately do know that it's a planar, but it's very unoffensive. Okay, so that's those ones out of the way. The next one that I'm going to be showing you now is the FiiO, the FP3. There we go. Which in itself, again, is not an offensive graph. I mean, fair enough, you have this somewhat energetic area between 5 and 9K, but the fact that the mid bass is nice and thickish, let's put it that way, my apologies, is nice and thickish, okay, it kind of compensates. And although when you look as well at the 100 Hz point corresponding to the upper mids, it's fine, it's more that area there that's actually above. Overall, the sound is not a bad sound. I mean, it's how can I put this? Look, it's like basically like I said in the view. It's not offensive, but it's nothing special either. So it's kind of just another one. Okay. It does use a slightly bigger planar driver, and when I compare it to something like, for example, the Nicehck, the F1 Pro, you'll understand why I believe the F1 Pro is a better or more sensible choice, and that's the F1 Pro. Because overall, although it's got as well that energetic area there, which does come forward and show it's planar at times, yes, the bass execution is a I'm not going to say it's a better, but it's a nicer bass execution Once again, let me make it show you guys at 100 hertz. Yes, you don't get a lot of energy past that area there of 2K. It's just down there, but overall the balance, the sound that you get of the F1 Pro is very agreeable. It's a very nice sound that's easy to listen to, has enough planar magic going for it, and it sounds what I would expect a well-tuned planar to sound. And in essence, in case I haven't mentioned it, but I did, but I'm going to mention it again. This is you could say a more polished version of the sound of the original S12. Okay, this is the original S12. Okay, and it's more polished because they've lowered this upper mids to the point where it's not as forward as in the S12 it was. So it makes the sound of the F1 Pro, which I'm kind of assuming that if it's not using a similar drive, it's very close to it. Just make it sound like a more agreeable, more mature, more well executed presentation. Which, when you take the S12 original version and you take the F1 Pro and you ask me which one I would choose to be on the safer side, F1 Pro definitely. Okay, so showing you the FiiO, which was that one there. Now let's, since we're talking about Letshuoer, let's start with let me show you the Letshuoer. So the original Letshuoer was this. Okay, nice bass. The bass of the S12 was phenomenal. It was just this area in the early upper mids, around between 2 and 3, that was a little bit too much at times. Okay, they then released the S12 Pro, which took care of this matter. Okay, and if you actually recall now from a second ago when I was showing you the Nicehck, the Nicehck, which I've just placed, is in essence an S12 Pro. I mean, you see the similarities. No F1, just the S12 Pro, F1 Pro. So you're getting an S12 Pro or you get an F1 Pro. They are very, very, very equal. Trust me, guys. Anyway, but going back here to the Letshuoers. So we had the original, okay, in red. We had the black line, which corresponds to the Pro, and now we have. Let me change it here to green so it stands out a bit more. The S12, the 2024 version, which again further takes down that area there of the upper mids, also brings down slightly the area between 5 and 8, and gives the best sound of the three without a question. I mean, you notice more the difference if I just put the S12, the original one, and the current 2024 version. But the 2024 version sounds absolutely fabulous. It's got the perfect balance, in my opinion, between the bass and then the upper mids and treble. What is there is just enough to be, let's say, mitigated by any possible, which doesn't, at least I didn't pick up any possible over excess of that planar timbre by the bass that you have below 100, and it just sounds really good. I mean, the S12 truly sounds, the S12 2024 version truly sounds phenomenal, and without question, it's the best of the S12 brethren. The next one I'm going to be showing you now is the Artti T10, and I'm going to show you first of all the original Artti T10. And the original Artti T10, for those who don't know, or Artti, is a subsidiary of Letshuoer, and that's why, again, you look at this graph, and if I put you, for example, the graph of the S12 Pro, which I've just put now, you can see again a lot of similarities. What the Artti has done is controlled a little bit more this area here of the 5 to 8, a little bit less extension past 10K, to give us an overall sound which is, you could say bluntly, even more polished than the S12 Pro. Maybe you will lose a little bit of that planar magic, but the overall balance that they managed on the Artti T10 was phenomenal, in my opinion. Really great sounding planar. And I mean, you could get this thing at one point at $60. There's not much you can complain about that. What have they done now with the Artti T10 Pro? They've taken it another step forward. And not this one, sorry. they've taken it another step forward. So they've basically maintained the base. I mean, the difference that exists here is very little, and they've kind of plateaued even more that whole area there of the upper mids, of the mids to upper mids and treble, and give it a nice amount of extension for that air, for that sensation of space which planars are known for having. When I said in the review earlier that the Artti T10 Pro is perhaps the most viable starting point if you want a well-tuned planar driver that has enough planar magic and musicality and organicness and detail capabilities and technical. It's definitely the best one, because the price that it has is really good. For $100 you're getting something that graphs this way and sounds like it graphs, by the way. This is a hard one to beat. Yes, the S12, the 2024 edition, which I'm just going to put it now for you guys to see, does ultimately edge it out because it's a little bit more polished, but the difference, honestly, is not that much. It is truly not that much. It's more of a question of how the overall fit will be in your ear that will dictate how one and the other will sound to you. One is a metal shell, the other one is a resin metal mix. Trust me, if there is any difference, it's a difference of mainly timbre and tonality. Taking into account that it will fit equally well one and the other in your ears. Okay, so the timbre and tonality and the overall, let's say, smoothness of the S12, the 2024 edition, is just a little bit extra, and they ultimately trade blows very, very well between one and the other. I mean, you know, it's yes, better accessories, a little bit, you know, but you have the exclusiveness of the S12, the 2024 edition. But the Artti T10 leaves absolutely nothing to be desired. Trust me, nothing to be desired. The Artti T10 Pro. And okay, so I've shown you that. Oh, and now, of course, the timeless. The timeless initially started out with this variation, which was nice. It had a nice smooth bass, but the balance between the bass and then the upper mids and the treble was perhaps one that tended more towards this area and made it sound not thin in any way, but very much planarish, even if that planarish execution was extremely well done for the time, mind you. Okay, they then came out with the AE version, which unfortunately I don't have, and now they have the timeless 2. And the timeless 2, well, let me take away this one and let me show you the timeless 2 in its various graphs. You have the timeless 2 in with the standard type of tip, but gold colored, which gives you this graph. You have with the silver, which basically is the same, just controls a little bit more this area of 20, which is the one I personally prefer. Okay, and then you have that type of face plug tip, which gives you very much the same sort of pina and early energy there in the 2-3K as the gold tip. Let me just take away here as this one, as you can see, but then it controls better the rest of the treble, which is probably my second favorite, and this is the gold one. And then finally you have the silver. Okay, and the silver is no, sorry, not this one, yeah. And the silver, and let me take away here that. Okay, so be it the silver, be it sorry guys, sorry, be it the timeless face plug in gold, okay, which is the orange, or be it the timeless 2 face plug in the silver color, they are identical. Trust me, guys, they are. Let me just align this bit. You can see they are identical. You cannot tell the difference between the one and the other. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. When I say that I like the gold as my second best, it could be the silver. They are the same. To my ears, I didn't see any difference. So the silver or gold face plug, this is how it graphs, and then the silver normal tip is this one, the green here. Okay, I can even, if you want, just align it a little bit better. There you go. And as you can see, it's mainly a difference of this 2 to 3K area. The rest remains very similar, and then there's a little bit extra, let's say, air up top. What can I say about the Timeless 2? Very, very, very nice. End of story. I mean, seriously, guys, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not, you know, the Timeless, as I mentioned earlier, the Timeless 2 and the Letshuoer, the 2024 edition, are without a doubt the two best sounding in this group. Okay, let me just place here the 2024 edition again. They are the best sounding. They have a very similar bass. The difference that exists is here, then a little bit here in this area between, let's say, 1 and 2, which is not really where you perceive the difference. You perceive the difference is here in that 6 to 8, where you can say that the S12 2024 edition on occasions will benefit from that extra energy by giving cymbals and certain instruments the necessary harmonics for them to sound a little bit more intense and likable, okay? While the Timeless has always got, at least with this setup, a very smooth presentation, which again is very pleasurable, and I like it very much. So it's difficult for me to say one is the better, one is the worst. They are extremely similar. Now, considering that the S12, the 2024 edition, is no longer available, so if we take this away, you are stuck with the Timeless 2. And the Timeless 2, because of the other variants that it offers in terms of its tuning, let me just show you one thing quickly. If I, for example, have the Timeless 2 with the gold nozzle, standard nozzle, I get a presentation which approximates itself a little bit more to what the S12 is capable of doing. Or if I then use the face plug, no, the face plug, no, it's the, yeah, sorry, apologies. So if I then change, if like I said, if I change the Timeless the nozzle to the gold standard nozzle, I get a presentation that is a little bit more planarish at times. So it emulates better the S12 2024 edition. But ultimately, look, this is the reality. You can't get the 2024 edition unless you find it secondhand. So you are going to be stuck with the magic of the Timeless 2. And as an alternative then to the Timeless 2, the only other IEM that I would say is really like deserving of you know, your attention if you really want a serious planar, is the Artti T10 Pro, okay, which is number 13 here. Okay, comparing the two of them, let me just align them. Comparing the two of them, I think the graph speaks for itself. I don't really have to say much. They graph extremely similar. The difference again that I noticed between one and the other is more difference of a very minor timbre difference, okay, and perhaps because the driver of the Timeless 2 is a more later generation driver, perhaps a little bit more mature, a little bit more polish, a little bit more smoothness in the way that the treble, the upper mids and treble, upper mids and presence area come across. But guys, believe me, it will depend in your ears. It will depend on how deep you insert them. It will depend on what source you're using, okay? These two are the best for me in this whole planar Armageddon. The other IEMs here that I think are worthwhile considering because they are really, really serious IEMs as well are the PRX, like I mentioned. I think the PRX for the under $40 price that you can get, you can't go wrong if you want to enter the planar game, or the SGOR Venus. I mean, this thing is phenomenal as well, phenomenal IEM. And the other one is the P20, which is this one here. Okay, this again is a very, very nice sounding IEM. I mean, seriously guys, very, very nice. Just for the sake of you to understand, let me just quickly put here the Letshuoer, the S12 2024 edition, so you guys can see. Okay, the shows is more DD like, more organic like. And let me just put you here as well the Artti T10 Pro. Very similar, but for some reason, and I assume maybe again it has to do with the driver that's being used, the P20 sounds just a little bit more organic, just a little bit more warmer, okay? And the final one for you guys to see how the P20 stacks up against these is the timeless in the standard nozzle with the silver standard nozzle. Let me just change the color here to red so you guys can again see the difference. So in green it's the Shozy P20, in red it's the timeless 2. But the Shozy 2, especially if you can get it for the $60 something that I have seen it, definitely a solid buy. You don't have to worry about, is it going to be good, it's not going to be good. Definitely. And the other one that I also enjoyed very much is the Planar, which is number 20 here. And the Planar, let me just put it in black. And the interesting thing about the Planar is, although the Planar has, again, and I think the Planar and the Shozy are using the same driver, although the Planar has this energy here in this 1 to 2.5K area, like you see, it doesn't sound as forward as you'd think, and it has to do with the way the bass is coming from behind, and I also assume that it has to do with the way that the actual shell is interacting with the driver. The Planar sounds actually quite warmer than what the graph would lead you to believe. And once again, the thing that the Planar has going for it especially is the fact that you can pick it up for the price that you can pick it up, which is quite low. Just for the sake of comparison, here's the P20, just for you guys to see. I'm almost sure they're using the same sort of driver, the same 14.5 driver. Really nice. So that's it, guys. Timeless 2, phenomenal, definitely worthwhile. You know, I'll be doing, like I said, a top of the line or review with the ET142 and with the S15, and I'll hopefully maybe have the AE as well, so you guys can actually see how the AE stacks up with these babies. I don't have the SGOR, and I don't think I will be buying it. I didn't get a decent deal on it, let's put it that way, so I'm not going to be spending that money unless you guys want to pitch in. Timeless, the S12 Pro, the S12 2024 edition, yes, definitely. The Pro is not a bad buy by any means, in any way. The Artti T10 Pro, definitely. And then in the cheaper ones, the S8 is definitely, or the smaller planar sized IEMs, the S8 from Letshuoer, solid, very solid. And then cheaper even than that, or well, way cheaper, the cheapest ones, definitely the SGOR Luna and the PRX are phenomenal IEMs. Okay, guys, hope I was able to shed some light, and that's it. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and let's make this channel grow, people. Come on, let's make this channel grow. All right, you take care now.